I didn't really get the aspect of the magic of the show.
And they had dragons.
They had
a couple of dragons.
There's a little bit of magic. Don't trust anything you see or you think is going to happen, because we will throw it on 360. Oh man, no. Just, wild.
Hey there, Midnighters and Moonlighters. This is your closer-in-chief with the check-in. Hold on a second. Looks like there's a minor temporal breach in sector GoT-S8. I better go check it out.
He just sits in here all night, watching security feeds and talking to himself. Can't be that hard. Blah, 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 blah. What's this? Game of Thrones Season 8 original script? That sounds like a fun read. I'll just peek through this real quick and stick it back when I'm... Well, I'm sure they can destroy another one.
Alright. Temporal breach locked down. Now that that's taken care of, better head over to the break room, meet up with Jolly and Smoke. And hey, if you're always cleaning up messes from someone above your pay grade, hit those like and subscribe buttons. This one's for you.
Welcome to Nightwatch, everybody. I am your closer-in-chief here with Jolly Green and Big Smoke. How you boys doing today?
Aloha.
Greetings. We are doing good.
So, we are going to hopefully stay a little bit better within the bumper rails today. Went a little off the rails last session, but we're gonna, try to stay on target. Stay on target. Stay on target.
Yeah. Star Wars, take it.
Like, comment, and subscribe. Follow us on not on Twitter. We're not on Twitter. Probably won't be on Twitter for a long time.
Not for a while.
But I got the Facebook page up. Nightwatch Podcast on Facebook. We're gonna stay on target today with storytelling, where our favorite stories came from, what inspired us to get into to be the nerds we are today. To be honest, I mean, I don't know about you guys, but I know for sure I lived in so many different fantasy and sci-fi worlds growing up.
Oh my lord, yeah. I lived many lives before I hit the age of 20.
Look, being the old guy, I get The Hobbit. That was my main story.
Yeah.
I mean, look, before I read the book, which I read way too young, there was this animated series of The Hobbit, and I loved it.
Yeah, that was that old
the old
rotoscope.
Yeah,
what do they call it? Yeah.
I loved it. I thought that was the greatest thing. And then while I was chilling in the school library with with the rest of the class, and we were talking about The Hobbit, is one of the librarians, she says, we have that book. And I was like, really? Went and got that book. The book was big as hell. I'm like, oh crap, how long is it going to take to read this? But I was up for the challenge. I read that book slowly, because that book, it takes like 4 pages to describe one thing in that book. And I was like, wow, dude.
What was that old meme? It was like, J.R.R. Tolkien talking about some battle, and then this happened. J.R.R. Tolkien describing a tree, 4 pages later, 5 pages later. Listen, man, if you just wanted to talk about trees, we would have let you write about trees,
Jeez. But yeah, I mean,
R.I.P. in the chat for the ant wives.
We lost the ant wives. Yeah, look, rest in peace, JR. But
yes.
Dude, man, that you brought out my imagination to I was like, everything fantasy at that point was a whole new world. Okay. And I ain't gonna lie, I like the dwarves more than I like the elves. The elves, they seem like a bridge too far. They were too unattainable, untouchable. But the dwarves, drinking, smashing hammers over stuff. Like, these are the cats I wanted to hang out with.
The Marines of the fantasy world.
Yes, they were the big muscles. You think they small, they'll kill you.
And all he's been through too. World War I in the trenches, seeing all that stuff, and that's where he got his inspiration for writing what he wrote about.
There's a lot of allegory of World War
Yeah.
World War II.
He did all that and got back and wrote all that. You know what I mean? And he was they don't make him. They don't make him like they make him. They made him. You know what I mean? He was.
Yeah,
he was a gentleman.
So I feel like I'm going to be doing this a lot this episode. One of the key things that they talk about whenever it comes to being a DM with Dungeons and Dragons and such like that. One of my favorite creators, Matthew Colville, he always says that the best DMs pull from the most obscure sources so that it sounds really good and sounds like it's an original thing coming from you, even though it isn't. But you don't have to know that. Players have to think that, right? One of my favorite little trivia things that I started picking up on was how much of Lord of the Rings, The Hobbit, and everything was directly or indirectly influenced by a lot of Norse mythology. Yeah. Case in point, every named dwarf in The Hobbit is directly named in the prose Edda. Either the prose or the poetic Edda, one of the two, or both. Every single dwarven name was a dwarven name in Old Norse mythology, or at least what was eventually transcribed into. Orcs and elves and dwarves and all that stuff. So much of that was influenced by both Norse and Celtic folklore. But he did such a masterful job of weaving this world to make it feel lived in. And I love that bit too of that. Lord of the Rings isn't a fantasy novel; it's a documentation of the hidden history of Europe. And that's why he didn't create the Elven language. He found the translations of it and the Hobbit language and everything else.
He had people twisted. He really did.
But talk about immersion into a fantasy world, man. I can feel that on every level of my own personal being. Like, I love getting immersed into a world. Like, when I can feel a part of it, when I can have a section of my mind basically dedicated to feeling like it's lived in that world. Like you said, lived many lifetimes. Yeah. It's. I trudged through the mines of Moria. I have gone through the Goblin Caves. I've
seen the halls of Erebor. I've seen
seen the spires of Goldudur.
Look, beat back the Reapers alongside Commander Shepard.
Crossblaze with the Wraith.
I had been stalked down the hallways by the Xenomorphs. So got to throw the sci-fi in there too.
Yeah,
for me, it's equal parts sci-fi and fantasy.
Yes.
Absolutely. Yes. Yeah, the stuff that sparked and inspired our childhoods, man, and you don't see as much of that these days. Kids growing up today, they got Game of Thrones, which don't get me wrong, very lore-filled fantasy world, but just nowhere near as much for comparison.
But okay, Game of Thrones, I like the brutal reality of it. But the magic, but see, look, because. I thought, this is a TV show that was going to last a while, right? But the characters didn't last a while. And at first it shocked me, and then I was like, okay, who else am I not going to get attached to? And then, of course, I had to go back and read the books and try to get ahead of the show. And I was like, oh, crap, this is some seriously vicious crap going on in the descriptions of the characters. Based on the books, the characters in the show was way too pretty. They were always, they make Daenerys look pretty hot in the book. But, she wasn't like stunning like she was in the show. No, she wasn't. But I was like, okay. So I liked it for the Simpsons. Like, okay, this is like, okay, don't get attached. Once I got past book 3, I'm like, okay, don't get attached to nobody in this damn show.
The things we do for love.
Yeah, but
see, so this is gonna be where our conflicting personalities clash, because
a divergence of opinion and out.
Because I am the optimist, you're the realist. There's always a little bit of both here. Right?
Let's do it.
All right. So we take the elements of Lord of the Rings versus Game of Thrones. This has been done time and time again, but this is our take on this. Right?
Okay.
So Lord of the Rings, Fellowship of the Ring sets out. And everybody but one guy gets a nice happy ending and a return back to that.
Really? Who gets the happy ending?
Sam.
Yeah, or go to the
I mean,
year.
all of them
Already.
all of
Here
them
we
really
go.
do.
All of them really do get a happy ending. I mean, Merry and Pippin become like
Governors or
Yeah, the
mayors.
governors of each of the different parts of the Shire.
Samwise becomes governor of the Shire, or mayor or whatever. Gets the girl and has a bunch of kids. Frodo gets to go off with Bilbo to the land of the elves.
Okay,
the land of the Undying.
Stop. Frodo goes over to the Undying Lands because the dude is severely traumatized, and he's
the allegory
he needed someone to take care of his ass because he was broken.
Yeah, the allegory of World War I soldiers dealing with a lot of the shell shock and treating that with self-deletion.
Exactly.
And that was kind of something that J.R.R. Tolkien really talked about outside of the books too. Is he's like, why would I ever pass judgment on somebody deciding that such a hefty amount of burden in a lifetime would it become too much for somebody to handle? That's so like that kind of shit. That I'm paraphrasing there, not the direct quote, but very much along those lines. And like I sympathize with that. When it comes to happy endings, though, like I said, essentially they're going off to heaven, right? So, with the elves,
Essentially.
But so he's getting that happy send off. He's getting that. I get to finally put the burdens down. Okay. Aragorn becomes king and gets his woman and has a bunch of kids running around. Legolas fucks off back to the forest and trees and does whatever elves do.
Yeah, with his dwarven buddy who traveled with him.
He did. They traveled.
Oh yeah, they wanted to go with Frodo.
There was really no place for Gimli to go because all of his kin in Moria, they were gone. Yeah. They were ixnayed.
Well, he did start a kingdom of his own with the. I think it's was it the Helm's Deep? I think there was the glittering caves in there. I think it's called, and he started a dwarf. I could be wrong. He started a dwarf kingdom of his own, and just the love of him and Legolas, the friendship, the bond. Legolas said, I pretty much put a good word in, and they said, you can come to the Undying Lands. They're allowing you to. And that was the end of that story. Him and Legolas, the buddies that they are, went to the Undying Lands together, and he was the first and only dwarf that was allowed into the Undying Lands.
Look, the one thing I do like about the books is they really depict the trauma that these cats went through. Okay, I mean, Aragorn. He had to cut through a lot of people to get to where he was. And his petition to be king wasn't certain after all he did.
No.
It was kind of like, he said, look, I'm the direct descendant of Isildur, but look what I did. And the people were like, okay, you are a descendant, but it's the fact that, look, did you cut down entire swaths of orcs and other crazy, evil folk?
The Umbarans? No, the pirates.
Yeah, the pirates.
The ghost pirates?
What about them?
No. He had to cut down them. So humans even, you know what I mean? Not even orcs, because orcs you can be like, fuck, he's an orc.
Well, like I'm saying, though, okay, I'm not talking about the joy feelings of the movie. I'm talking about the book. The book, it wasn't certain that he was going to be king, even after all that stuff.
Oh.
Yeah, he had to go through, like, quite a few different trials and everything.
Yeah, a couple trials, and there was an entire council going, maybe. And they...
But he had the birthright. He had the sword reforged. He led the armies, and if it wasn't for the popular vote of him being on the front lines on the attack on Mordor,
here's his bag of gold.
I didn't know
go
that.
Kick rocks. They could have said that to him, because for many hundreds of years there were no kings in Gondor.
Just stewards.
Just greedy politicians, just taking shit and was trying to rule like kings, but they weren't kings.
Definitely living like kings.
Yeah, and they didn't want that. But like I said, he proved himself by the skin of his teeth.
Yeah.
You just happened to save the city and maybe half of the populace.
I will say, watching that scene in, I think it was Two Towers, where, what's his face, the current sitting steward, Boromir's dad.
Denethor.
Yeah, Denethor, when he's sitting there after he's gotten, healed up and everything, and he's sitting there with a plate of food, and he's just, like, snacking and chowing away and shit. I'm like, my inner peasant brain just wants a nice little wooden platter of meats and fruits and cheeses and stuff.
Busting into tomatoes. I'm gonna get off track.
That scene got to me. That was so disgusting.
Yeah, it was. The fish, I think, bleeds.
What do they call it? Mastophobia?
Yeah.
It's like,
I
can't stand the sound of people eating and chewing.
The way he was eating was just so loud, and then like he ate especially when he bit the tomato, this big old giant spurt. Oh, that was gross. Okay, I get it. There's no food. There's no food etiquette in this time period. We're just gonna keep
it's
going.
more of just he was lively again for the first time in however many years.
Hell, you might have been disappointed about me eating that chicken the other day, man. I was over here. I was going to town.
I have no problem with people enjoying chicken. Okay? That's just that. We'll give you a pass on that, Jolly.
Fat ass tomatoes.
Look.
Don't watch me eat tomatoes.
Just no tomatoes. But you can. He was chowing down on that chicken, though, man.
Anybody that's ever worked with me at Walmart knows that
there wasn't a piece of meat on that son of a bitch. I tell you what.
15-minute smoke break, man, and it took almost 5 minutes just to walk from the back of the store to the front of the store. You got to punch out. I would go over, grab me one of those rotisserie chickens, go out for my smoke break, smoke a cigarette, eat an entire rotisserie chicken stripped down to the bone. Get back in there and clock back.
Yeah,
man. I'd devour me some chicken.
This is a little off track from. I mean, not really, but it's talking about J.R.R. Tolkien going into the war. That it was really sad that he was like, it's what they see in war that brought him the ideas to make the whole universe of Lord of the Rings. That was a really common thing back in the day. They got back and they'd be shell-shocked. They'd be depressed. I mean, they've seen the worst war.
Yeah, struggling with PTSD when you don't know what that is.
But the populace didn't understand.
Mm-hmm.
You went over there and you were in France. You popped wine and you had a good time of the people. It wasn't medialized at that time. The people didn't understand how bad it was over there. And it was quite common for them to be like, I don't understand what your fucking problem is. You was in bougie France. You had a good time over there. No, you
spent months sitting in trenches,
and I mean, that's
eating stale bread and drinking nasty
it's an epidemic
foul water.
To this day where the soldiers come back and they get, I don't see the problem. You didn't have it that bad. You have no idea what them people seen. I'm not a military man. I've never seen service. I've never seen crazy stuff. As a person, I will speak for anybody that's ever been in the service and never seen combat. None of you. I don't know anything that they went through, the trials and tribulations and everything that they seen. I would never pass judgment and be like, oh, well, get over it. There, you have no clue. And like I said, that was a very common thing, especially back then. It was a very, very common thing. You get back and they were like, no, you were over there in France. Join yourself. Yeah.
My best bud, he was a combat vet. I mean, like shooting, and his best thing was like he just walked past people. He didn't. Your only slip up is when you ever touched him and talked shit at the same time, because then you were going to get an open hand slap. That was just the taste of what you would get if you did something like that. And
otherwise, he would just refuse to engage.
Yeah, otherwise he could just shrug it off because, like you said, he didn't know. You didn't know, and you're never going to know. You have the license to bitch and moan about things because I got shot at and had to shoot at people. So, no, I'm just going to walk past you. Oh, you touch me? We smacking a bitch. That's exactly what happens, his pacifism goes that far and no further. Whack. Nice. And then he looks at you after he smacks you like, okay, do we have to smack a bitch again?
Yeah.
No. Have a good day.
It's absolutely sad not to get into politics, which I'm not. It's really sad when you see my pap. He wasn't on the front lines. He was a bosun's mate on one of the fuelers, Navy boat that carried the fuel to the front lines, and he always downplays his, I wasn't anything. I said, Pap, them boys would not be able to march through that forest if you didn't supply that gas to put in their tanks, to put in their APCs to get where they're going, and it is really sad. He barely scraped by with all the benefits from the military. And there's so many military men, there's so many veterans that you see homeless that scrape by, and that never, ever should be. And they're going to sit there and be like, well, I'm for the troops. But
Okay, that's a
That's a whole other topic.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's why I said let's get back on track. I'm just gonna.
I will jump in with a quick shout out to all of our pogs out there. You know?
yes, sir.
What's a pog?
People other than grunts.
Oh, okay.
So, all the non-infantry support staff that you're talking about.
Okay. Yes.
Me and Big Smoke were both.
And he
both
downplayed it
pogs.
so bad. The only thing he wore, and he never talked about it because he wasn't in the front lines. He wore a navy hat with a couple pins on.
Okay.
That's all he did, and he was the most modest person. He got back. He walked from the place, got dropped off at a place on the bus. He walked past a bar. These 5 men came out and beat the fuck out of him for no reason at all.
Other than just because
I don't know. I don't know if it was because he was in uniform or what.
I bet you it was because he was in uniform.
I really don't. But
what year was this?
Vietnam War.
Okay.
Yeah. They beat the living
just saw
shit
Rambo,
out of him.
you know?
Yeah, beat the living shit out of him. It is truthfully sad. It brings honestly a tear to my heart or my eyes. Not my heart. My heart can't.
Your heart can't cry.
No. My eyes can't.
Just
bleeding heart.
Yeah, just crying a lot.
Big old softy.
But Lord of the Rings.
So, but circle us back around.
Yeah.
Good man.
I would say the bumpers came down a little bit. I with all my strength, just lifted them babies back up.
Actually, technically speaking, that is still within the bumpers because we're talking about the things that inspire us. And like you said, Lord of the Rings was very heavily inspired by the things that J.R.R. Tolkien went through in his service. So,
yes.
I mean, yeah. Not to mansplain that to you.
No. You're fine. No. It was for me and the audience. No.
Well, I'm not mansplaining the audience. I ain't getting caught in that trap.
Oh, folks, it was just for me. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to throw you into that, guys. I'm sorry.
So storytelling and the things that influence us. I mean, well, and actually to drag us right back down in, we almost got out of the bucket. I mean, you see a lot of things like Tom Clancy novels and stuff like that from people that didn't spend time in the service, but they get a lot of those direct stories and influences from them. And I can imagine I haven't read too many, but I know I've read at least a couple of books that written by military members.
Yeah, I've read way too many Tom Clancy.
The Vigil books.
The Vigil Bound?
Yeah, the Vigil Bound series.
Oh, man.
The author of that one was a former Marine.
He was former Marine.
And you can see it coming off of the page, man. You can definitely tell this guy knows exactly what he's talking about. He's definitely lived it. There isn't any mimicking that.
No.
There is no simulacrum or close enough. Like, no, this guy definitely was...
He lived it.
Yeah.
He lived it. And and it was a suggestion from Chief. I never heard of this guy.
I kept seeing it pop up on my Facebook page. It's like, check out this, independent author. Right?
Hey, this motherfucker, he never even read the book at the time.
Well, you're listening to all these
he
AI slop fucking, I died and awoke in this world, and now I have a million levels, and I'm super powerful and OP, but I can't talk to girls.
Yeah. Oh man, it's incredible. This guy is like he was a ride or die for his squad kind of guy, and that literally he jumped on a freaking grenade so his buddies would live.
And it happened in this temple, right? They're in this weird looking church, but not a church place.
And he takes a grenade to the gut. He isn't dead yet. And it's like, I still gotta fight. So he's stuffing his guts back in his stomach and he's firing at the enemy.
He's got his Colt 45 and he's got his K-bar in his hand and he fucking...
Yeah, with guts hanging out.
And then there's these shadow creatures crawling out of the walls and he's trying to shoot it and stab at them and not doing a damn thing. But he goes out fighting.
Yeah, he goes out fighting.
And it attracts the attention of this god. This five-faced god who's like, you died valiantly in battle and this and that. And meanwhile, like all the different faces have different personalities. They're all bickering amongst it. It's like, is he really worthy? He's doing this. Listen, this is exactly the kind of hero we need. And he gets thrown into this fantasy world that plays like a video game.
Well, hang on. You're skipping a lot part. The main aspect of it. They ask him, "Do you want to live?" Now he knows he's dead.
Yeah.
They're like, "Do you want to live?" He's like, "Well, yeah, I do. I want to live." And so, okay, you're gonna give you your life back. We're gonna give you one special, power from each of us because there's different aspects of this five-faced god guy. He's got 5 faces, and each of them gives him basically a blessing.
Yeah, the four of them give him like basically a copy and paste blessing that they give all the other champions they've selected that haven't been working so far, mind you.
So the last one, he goes, well, I'm gonna let you choose. Now his choice list goes, it's like this long list, and he picks one at random. That he reads each one, and he picks one and goes, hey, I get to reset my power setting every 24 hours. I think I'll take that one. And so, and he goes, well, we'll give you a spirit guide. He goes, well, my buddy died that day. Give me him as my spirit guide. Wait a minute. He don't know shit like you don't know shit. Yeah, it'd be the worst example.
He's not going to know. Like, the spirit guide is supposed to guide you through this realm and inform you of it. Nah, fuck that. I want my best friend. Ride or die, me and him, we go everywhere together. We're going into this together.
And so him and his friend, they go to this other part of the galaxy, wherever. They don't really describe where they go, but it's
another planet and another realm.
Yeah, way far from Earth. And then they just plop him down in a cave full of bad guys.
What were they? Not ghouls. Bargat? No.
Cave something.
Oh, what are the things that reek because they only eat dead shit? And
ghouls. That's a ghoul.
Yeah, but there's troglodytes.
That's
troglodytes. What I'm thinking of, but they were some kind of ghoul.
Got a ghoul.
They were literally called like cave ghouls.
And then he's butt naked.
But
he has a 45 and he has his K-bar.
Made out of spirit energy.
Yeah, they're not really K-bars and knives. That's just basic his mental projection of what.
I love the bit where he finally gets to a hotel, like an inn, and he's like able to inspect. He takes it apart. Takes apart the gun. And he's like, none of this is how a cult works. This is all like gemstones and runic inscriptions,
engravings and shit on it.
When he pulls the trigger, it fires bullets. And he's like, "That's good enough for me, man. I don't have to know how it works. I just know that it works."
And it's just like a video game. He's got a magic bar. If he shoots too many of them, it goes empty. The bar.
He drains his mana.
He drains his mana basically. It was the perfect. It was perfect, and he'll kill something, and he steals its essence.
And he gets experience to level up.
Yeah, and he gets powerful, and the more essence he gets, it's just like a level up system. And I mean...
Yeah, so dude gets isekai'd, but, it's...
Yeah,
But in a book written by...
a Marine.
A former Marine, yeah. Well, there's no former Marines, but Marine.
And it's incredible, because then you got, Fae folk, and these Fae are devious, treacherous, and will murder you in your sleep.
Oh yeah, dude definitely read a lot of the Dresden
Files. Oh man, yeah.
He had to have because
it's like he's got everything. It's like urban fantasy on a different planet.
Sure, that sounds pretty cool.
It is pretty cool.
It is, yeah. It's dope as fuck.
What was the name of the author and the book?
So the book is called the Vigil Bound.
Vigil Bound series. There's 4 books.
Vigil.
Yeah, it's an awesome book. And the first one definitely is. It's definitely catchy, and I do the audio when I'm driving, and so I just listen to the books.
James Hunter is the author. The Vigil Bound, a lit RPG or literature RPG adventure. Vigil's Justice, Vigil's Valor.
Oh man, that's a good one.
Vigil's Balance and Vigil's Wrath. Basically all named after the different aspects of the five-faced god.
God, it's terrible. It's terrible how some of these cats die because he'll run into the first one. He had to find out how this they thought it was a particular type of creature, and they were completely wrong about what kind of creature it was. He thought he was hunting some type of, and that creature beat the crap out of him. I mean, and he barely survived. But the thing about being this special kind of warrior is if he goes to a temple and goes to a particular temple place, he'll heal up. He just has to hang out there until his body melds back together. And it's painful when it does. It's not like he just skirts and gets, a healing potion. No, it's the bones are knitting back together and he's in some serious pain the whole time. But they build these guys tough. That is an awesome series.
Yeah,
I'll have to check
for
that
something that I randomly stumbled across on Facebook, man.
Yeah, I'm glad he actually recommended it to me.
Yeah, I read through the first book. I started into the second book. I bought all of them though, so I have no excuse not to read them other than just time.
We're doing a lot of stuff right now.
Got a lot of plates spinning in the air right now. At the moment, you know, but case in point, and I kind of wanted to bring this up a little bit. Yesterday, I edited and published an episode in under 2 hours yesterday.
Oh yeah.
To put into perspective, the leading up to this point, learning how to do all this stuff. I mean, I was averaging anywhere from 6 to 12 hours in the editing chair, learning how to do all this stuff, and then figuring out the processes and streamlining.
Please, folks, applause in the chat for Big Chief.
Yeah, I mean, you guys went on a lunch break run, and I had it up and ready before you got back.
Yeah, he brought it back. I'm like, oh shit, look at this. He's already done.
Yeah, and yes, there's a little bit of bragging and everything, but to put it in a non-braggadocious perspective here, I just wanted to point out for other people that are listening that are in that same learning to be creative process. There's an old story, half joke, half I'm sure somebody similarly had something happen, but this old little story, quick short story. There's a Navy ship in dry dock. For some reason, the engines aren't working. All the maintenance crew, all the mechanics are going over this thing. They can't figure out what the fuck's wrong with this thing. Cannot get this engine to fire back up. So they hire an outside contractor. This older guy comes in, right? He comes in and he spends about an hour or two. He's looking over this engine and trying to figure it out. And he looks at it for a little while longer and then goes over his toolbox and digs through it a little bit, finds a hammer, and goes over the engine and lines it up. And he hits this one spot. Whole engine starts kicking over and fires back up. He fucking says, all right, job's done here. Engine's working. Got it done. He goes over, packs up his toolbox, leaves. This Navy commander gets a bill from this guy, $30,000. I don't remember the exact amount, but we're just gonna throw that out there for easy math. It's like, and then the Navy commander's like, "The fuck did you this guy shows up and he hits it once with a hammer and he wants $30,000 for that?" And he's like, "No, fuck that." He calls up the guys like, "Hey, I want a itemized invoice on this shit. Explain to me why I owe you $30,000." It's like, yeah, it's simple. $100 for time and labor, $29,900 for all that time spent learning exactly where to hit with that hammer.
Yep.
So just to put that out there into the ethereal to the audience listening, for those of you out there, in the shoes that I'm in now, or whenever you hear this, whenever you're going through that creative process of just learning how to do a thing, keep at it. The payoff is worth it, and
it can be done.
And even if people don't recognize it, I recognize the unacknowledged hours and hours and hours because
You put a lot of freaking time into this.
We're 37 days into this, and if I had to catalog it out, I'd say I've probably dumped easily over 300-400 hours easy into this already. And
just the estimate that when you come to work and you look half alive. I'm glad you're over that particular hump because I was going, this motherfucker's gonna die.
When's the breaking point?
Yeah, he's gonna kill himself.
But see, now I've freed up all this extra time for a little bit of time, I'm going to take some time for myself and, get back into some gaming and rest and relax. And then I'm going to dive into whatever other projects I can figure out and delve into because I can't stay not busy for long.
That's what I'm talking about.
I can't sit still for too long, man.
I was sitting there going, man, this is some serious, over-obsessed kind of, activity. Because I was sitting there going, I know as soon as we leave, he's going to jump on this sucker and he's just going to just delve into this thing deeper and deeper. And then we're going to have to, grab a hook and put it to his shirt and pull him out of the well because he's too deep and he can't climb out and the walls are all covered with moss. And
now, I will say that my original process was after we finished recording, since we do batch recordings, I put it all down. I would like you guys leave. I went to bed.
Oh well, shit! If you could do that, fine.
But then the next day after work, after the day job, I would come back into it like, all right, diving into this because I gotta get it episode up tomorrow.
Yeah.
But now that I've gotten a lot of the process streamlined and I will never gripe about not getting recognized for the time that I spent into it because I chose to do that. But for those that do need that recognition, applause.
Yes.
Acknowledged. You guys are doing the work.
You guys are amazing.
You know, I understand and empathize with the struggle. I know what it takes to get to just this point, and we're not even there yet, man.
The guy who's looking at the screens, the guy's looking at the screens and checking the analytics, and oh man, that's not even a tenth of what I see him doing, and I'm going, what the hell is that? Oh crap, what the hell is that? I get that. But what the hell is that?
I saw a video last night. A guy was talking about a thing called a shredditor. It's your shooter, editor, and producer. And I thought it was kind of an interesting name, but it sounded a little too much like Reddit. I don't really know Reddit yet, so I'll steer away from that one. But
I'm looking at Reddit and I don't understand it. I'm like,
but the idea was like it was these guys that are able to take an idea and make it a thing. You know, do the work, grind it out, and make something out of it, right? So, and every creative project, every thing that becomes a thing needs those types of people. And it's like, well, all right, well, we know who ours is for sure.
Yeah, you definitely know whose ours is, and he needs to get sleep on a regular basis. Okay.
I thought you were gonna say something else.
Yeah.
he needs to get laid.
I mean, not wrong.
He's too freaking busy.
Well, I don't have time for that. I got stuff to create, and I got shows to watch and video games to play.
Okay, ain't gonna suck it, so.
I'll just give me a sex robot.
Sex robots is in the mail. What's another one that I actually like? The Dresden Files.
Dresden Files are
There's another urban fantasy. Another urban fantasy. Dude's a diehard wizard in Chicago.
In Chicago, yep.
In Chicago, and that's what he's like. He claims to be a wizard. He got it on his freaking door, like Bill Nye, Private Eye kind of thing. Of course, I'm messing it up, people. I understand that. It rhymed, okay? And people come,
Bill Nye the Private Eye.
and then they come in, and he's basically in his yellow pages. He's like, yeah, I find things, I solve problems, author, authentic wizardy stuff, right?
Yeah, he advertises himself as like a psychic or a medium or whatever, and
and of course, people are skeptical when they show up. Like, can you really do this? Yes, I can really do this, and he really does it. I mean,
most of the time they don't want to know the answers. So, it's like some of the shit he has to do to cast spells or figure shit out, solve problems, because he works as a private consultant for the police force. That's the specific unit that's tasked with dealing with the weird shit, right? The unexplained,
and half of them
supernatural.
Don't even believe what they're doing. Yeah, they just know it's weird, and they can't explain it, but we'll just put this in this tab here, and that's what it is.
Yeah, it's like the first book. They get tasked with solving this murder, and it's like this couple that they get fucked up mid-sex, and it looks like they've been
the heart exploded.
Yeah, the heart exploded, but it definitely is like foul play, because it's like it looks like the heart's been ripped out of their chest, and all the doors are locked, security cameras around the place, nobody got in or out of this place, of this like high-rise condo or whatever, and so he's got to figure it out, and then he starts realizing.
Remember, he understands what it is,
but he can't tell them what it is.
Yeah, he can't tell them what it is, and worse, he can't use the method to find how he did it, because it's black magic, and he already got in trouble for black magic.
If he gets
caught again, they'll kill him. The people in charge,
the High Magic Council or whatever. If they realize that he's anywhere near this stuff, they could pin it on him, or they'll assume that it's him, and their trials are not the same as ours.
You're guilty, they cut his head off. So he was treading a very thin line trying to figure out this problem.
Yeah, and then the second book delves into werewolves. Like, could you imagine being a Chicago PD detective just trying to figure out why the fuck somebody looks like they got mauled by a wolf?
Oh, a big dog,
But like a wolf with claws the size of fucking trash can lids, I mean, it's, but yeah, so that kind of stuff is just I love the influence of the modern stuff mixed with the fantasy stuff.
Yeah.
Science fantasy stuff is really fun. But Jolly, we haven't heard from you in a while. What's another big one for you? What's a big influence with your creative side of your storytelling side?
Honestly, and I know we talked about it already, but it really, truthfully is. I about said Star Wars. Good Lord. Lord of the Rings. Lord of the Rings is the most. I mean, I remember my pap. It was the first one. He's like, "You really need to watch it. You'll like this." And I was like, "Oh, it looks dorky. I don't wanna." And it was on this TV just going through one day, a year or two later, and I see it was the Twin Towers. Was the first one I seen.
Two Towers.
Oh yeah. Oh my Lord. The Twin Towers.
Yeah.
Two Towers.
Oh, okay. One more time. The Two Towers.
There you go.
Yeah, you think in New York City.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah. The Two Towers. I seen that one and I was like, this is magical. This is amazing. And I remember as soon as that was off, I went outside, grabbed a stick up, and I was fighting orcs off of the Helm's Deep, the Hornburg, you know what I mean? I was fighting them off. And it really did open up the whole, I played Halo, I played all these games, but nothing really fantasy-wise at that point until I watched that, and I was like, this is a whole jar of worms I'm just going to open up. And it was, I don't know what I'm doing today. It was just magical. It really was. And it was the first time I really got into something that fantasy-like, and it swept me away.
What about it specifically spoke to you? Which we never got back around to the comparison of Lord of the Rings and Game of Thrones.
Oh, no,
we'll
we
have to
didn't.
right back around to that. That'll be our draw for people.
Do you want me to answer that one for you?
Yes, do that now before we forget.
Yeah, I can answer that one right now. And I'll keep the idea.
Well, answer my question first. What was the big draw for you to Lord of the Rings?
The big draw for Lord of the Rings is just, I'm going to say how, like I said before, and it's kind of repeating myself, just the fantasy aspect of it. The dwarves. That's my, you said Big Smokes, that's your favorite race in there.
There weren't, not in this itineration, it wasn't the same. But they did somewhat save themselves with the Hobbit trilogy. Even though the Hobbit movies, woosah, they butchered the hell out of the Hobbit. They butchered the hell out of it. But the last movie,
it's not
yes,
the Rings of Power.
Thank you for saying what you're gonna say.
The last movie, they had tons of dwarves and then battle goats on that freaking truck.
You need to watch the extended version. If that battle is cool, just the normal run through. But if you really want to get a good,
I never watched the extended version.
Don't.
Like I said,
I haven't either.
Oh my God! Can I explain?
First off, real quick, just to. I read The Hobbit. I have only seen the first movie out of the trilogy. And Lord of the Rings, I still to this day have not seen the extended director's cut. I really want to, but I just have not dedicated
it's
time to
so
it.
good.
Which one you haven't seen on the second one? You haven't
The Hobbit. I have not. I've seen all three of the Lord.
He hasn't seen the second or third Hobbit.
But you haven't seen any of the extended versions of those?
Correct.
Okay.
But I did read the books, so like.
Of course.
Well, shit. If you read the books,
that's pretty much.
Okay, well, look. Here we go. You read the books of these movies.
Hold on. You're coming at me with two knife hands
Okay,
right now, right?
well, because it's serious here.
Okay.
Look,
Serious.
Okay, I had somebody come at me one time because they knew I was really into the Fellowship of the Ring, and I said, well, you get a misrepresentation of what happens at the end of Return of the King. They're like, well, Aragorn gets the girl. I'm like, yeah, the Wraiths, they're all destroyed. Yeah, and then Sam, Perry, and the rest, they go home. That's not the end of the story, though.
Right.
What are you talking about? They go home and they live happily. I said, no, they go home into a straight up fight at the end of Return of the King. No, they don't. Yes, they fucking do.
Yep.
Yes, they do. And that's when Mr. Saruman,
Scourge
the
of
White,
Osiris.
that's when he gets killed. Not in the middle of in the beginning of the second movie.
Right.
Which is such a shitty end for him. Because I really liked him as a character and as an actor, but as a character in there, I really liked it. And just getting greasy ass worm tongue to fucking blade him in the back, and that be it. And then it's like you had a talk with him. come Wormtongue, come down. And he's starting to see reason. And then why the fuck Legolas? He gets stabbed and Legolas is like, yeah, bitch. It just shoots him for no reason. He gave up. He killed the baddie. You know what I mean? He was turning.
Well, see, basically that's how he got killed at the end of Return of the King. But it's not Legolas that kills him. It's the hobbits that kill his ass.
The swarm him, huh?
Well, yeah, they put a whole bunch of freaking arrows in his ass. And look, and he kills Saruman just like that. But Saruman basically just kicks him in the face and you're like, come with me, dog. You are not. They were trying to spare him. Well, they weren't trying to spare him. They were wanting to kill him because a couple of hobbits. Well, I say a couple of dozen hobbits died, and so they were like they wanted to slit throats all through it because they. They basically took over the Shire and was killing Shires, killing all the halflings. And they were like, hey, look, you got to die. Fuck all this. And freaking Frodo's like, no. We're going to be Donald Trump here. We're going to be casting some peace around here. No more wars. And people were listening to him.
I'm sick of all these motherfucking wars.
Yeah, no
more. Motherfucking Shire.
No more killing. No more killing. They're beaten. They had all the bad guys. The ones that didn't kill or escape, they all got tied up. And so they were like, okay, no more killing. We've made our point. And they were gonna let Saruman walk out. And they told Grima, they said, hey, look, you don't got to go with this dude, man. Be free of this fool. Let him go. And freaking Saruman said, nah. He kicked Grima in the face. Like, bow. Nah, you mine, bitch. You coming with me. And then he turned around because he was sure that Grima wasn't going to do crap because Grima was basically just...
Well, sniveling low.
Yeah, and he was a sniveling.
Yes.
And that's... You kick your dog a little too often, that sucker gonna bite you, and that's exactly what happened. Grima turned, took that dagger out, yak, and stabbed him, and then the hobbits on reflex, ding, 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 ding. They made a pincushion out of him. I mean, that's how he died. And then when they looked down at Saruman, the dude was he didn't even look human anymore. He was just withered, leathered out Hulk. I mean, because he really wasn't a human being. He was a spirit. Mm-hmm. And yeah, and that's how and so when I had to explain that to somebody, I was like, you really just need to read the fucking book. Okay, don't come at me. Okay, now, you'd have came at me like, okay, that was a cool ending at the end of freaking Return of the King, which it was. I'm all about Sam getting the girl, pumping a few babies out of her because he dude, look, I've been through a lot, girl. I'm the man. We gonna have some kids.
I do love that bit in the movie where he's like, fucking go talk to her. Yeah. He's still kind of nervous. And he's like, no, everything you just been through. Go talk to her. Go dance.
That dude put that ale down, wiped his lip. Yeah, we gonna handle some busyness. Next thing you know, they married. And next thing you know, they got some kids.
Yes, Saruman, Radagast, and Gandalf are like lesser aspects of the gods, and I knew the names of different, like what the gods' names were, like what's the technical name for them, and then what the technical name is for them. They're pretty much just like shit's going awry down here. You as an aspect of me, like whatever, like Saruman, even Sauron was a aspect of one of them.
Yes, he was.
Smith, the god of smithing or whatever it was. He was him. He loved crafting. That's why he created the rings. He loved creating. He wanted to create something that, and you can't. The only one that's able to do that is Iluvatar. He's the only one that can make or create anything, but he was jealous of him that he was the only one that was able to create. So that's why he created all these mockeries of the ants, which that's why he made the trolls, because he wanted to make a mockery of these ants. Ants, yes, not ants, not the little piss ant things that are in your kitchen. You really
going down deep in the weeds, okay?
But so back to the original question though, what really influenced and sparked you with what drew you into Lord of the Rings?
Just I repeated it already. You know what I mean? Just the fantasy aspect of it. Just I've never watched anything at that point that was that Amazing.
otherworldly.
I never heard of dwarfs. I've never heard of orcs. I've never heard of any of this. And just seeing all of it and the it's not okay. We was talking about the Game of Thrones, how dark it is. That is such an upbeat, you know what I mean, hope, light. We are going, you know what I mean. We are going to fix. It's just, it spoke to me.
So now we drop back into the original.
Now I would like to continue with it. For me, the reason why I liked it so much, the nitty, the gritty, the just. What was it? The Targaryens, which you said they were beautiful. In the books, they had violet eyes. I wish they'd have carried that on to the
I heard
films.
they did in the follow-up show.
I don't think so.
The House of Dragons?
I don't think so, because I just started watching that again, because I haven't finished it fully. I've got almost halfway, and then the series stopped. You know what I mean? New one was pumping out, and I just got off.
How many seasons is the House of Targaryen? Or House of Dragons?
House of Dragons, yeah. I don't know.
Couldn't tell you. Never got
But
it.
Yeah, exactly.
The Targaryens, they weren't shy about marrying
Same
and
people in the
having
family.
intercourse the same. Keep that blood pure. Just the in your face too. Nothing about it. Just the
Kind of how
like
they
you-
were crazy.
oh yeah, like you said. After you said Big Smoke, after season 3, there wasn't anybody that I was like, he's gonna make it. What is that? And I made that reference. I don't think anyone got it. The things we do for love. That is when poor Bran, climbing up the thing, sees the 2 Lannisters bumping uglies, sister and brother, and he's like, we have to. She's like, just kill him. You know what I mean? Straight out. And he was like, no. And Jamie, I don't know. I think in the books, he didn't turn to the good side. He kept it straight. He was with Cersei to death to us part. You know what I mean?
God.
But he ended up turning tail a little bit, and it made me like, oh man, he's a good guy deep down. He turned around and looked at her and was like, the things we do for loves. Bop! Pushed him right out there, and that's why he became Bran the Broken.
And that was like second episode, wasn't
Second
it?
episode,
that
right
was
in your
the-
face.
Look,
The red wedding. Well, that was the most pinnacle part for me in that film. I mean, it is full of just in your face. Don't trust anything you see or you think is going to happen, because we will throw it on 360. But the red wedding was the biggest one for me, where I was like, oh man, no. Just wild.
But
Just-
so, like I said, so we have this compare and contrast moment of Lord of the Rings and Game of Thrones. These are like 2 of the biggest fantasy stories
Out there.
in our modern culture, and they're just so inherently opposite in opposition.
One's
to each
about
other.
hope and the perseverance of good versus evil, and the other one is, this is just what the world is. This is
what power is.
Yes.
Right. So whenever it comes to fantasy, for me, it's supposed to be that this is what it could be. This is what, in an optimistic mindset, this is what the world should be like, where people come together to fight the easily identified evil. This is the evil, this is the corruption, this is what we're against, and we're gonna band together with all these people that are going to become heroic figures, even from humble beginnings, become heroic figures and put a stop to the evil and the corruption. And then you have Game of Thrones, where it's everybody's awful, everybody is terrible and sucks, and why should you have allegiances when even your side is just a different shade of the other side? You're just as bad, just as corrupt, but it's us versus them.
For me, the magic that was in Lord of the Rings, Fellowship of the Rings, The Hobbit, that magic was a part of you. It was right there. It was real. It was tangible. Okay. You look at a 9-foot dude, or maybe 7 feet.
Talk about the mountain?
Yeah, and I'm talking about Gandalf.
Oh, Gandalf. Okay.
Yeah, he was like, I mean, they always got the scale wrong if you were paying attention. They got the scale wrong of how tall he was.
Well, they did the forced perspective thing to make him look taller. And
Yeah.
He was supposed to be like
A little, taller.
taller than everybody.
Yeah, everybody. He was at least a head taller than everybody.
Yeah.
But they couldn't obviously keep that consistent. But when he did his magic, it was like, okay, this is stuff that you don't see. Okay, everyone can't do this kind of magic. Radagast, he did a lot of earth magic. Okay, Saruman, he was a lot of word magic. He was very convincing. He was a man of many colors. because he could talk you into some shit. So, and then of course, there's Sauron with his rings, the elves with their illusion magic, their creation, their a lot of camouflage, illusion, the longevity.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, Game of Thrones. It's just I didn't really get the aspect of the magic of the show.
I mean, they had dragons.
They had
a couple of dragons.
There is a little bit of magic, but it's
it's not
quite it's quite
it's subdued.
Yes, thank you.
There's not. It's not.
It's like Conan the Barbarian. It's low magic.
Yeah, it's really there, but you don't get a real big boost of it. I mean,
other parts of the world, you go to a shy, and there's there's just different. There's different.
Okay. When I'm thinking about it, when I'm closing my eyes and thinking about Game of Thrones, when is the very first time you get an actual,
glimpse of magic?
A glimpse of what magic is? When is it for you guys?
For me, it was the White Walkers when they first introduced those.
Yeah. What episode was that?
I don't remember, but it was fairly early on.
Was it the first season?
It's been a long
time.
Hard,
right? Hard.
But it was either first or second season, and it was.
It's the first season. It's the first season.
Yeah, because Jon Snow goes off to the wall.
No, it's where the first scene of the movie where them two. It's the two. The.
Oh yeah, in the very first episode.
And they're like, something's going on, and there's that print. Yeah.
Okay, look. When I first saw that scene, I was going, okay, that's a weird motherfucker. He's weird. He's pale. He's got blue eyes. Okay, that's weird. I didn't think magic, though.
Yeah.
Okay, fair.
I thought troll or evil cave dweller. I wasn't thinking that. I didn't really think magic until the end of the first season when Daenerys comes out of the fucking fire with dragons all over her.
I think that was second. Yeah. Was that first season?
I'm not too sure, but that would be the first part. I was thinking of Bran when he starts getting his powers of being a warg, and he was able to see through the raven. He keeps saying having this dream about ravens and stuff.
Look, they strung us along by our freaking pinky finger about that cat. It would have been better off if the dude had died. I'm sorry.
I liked him.
He was fucking useless through the whole goddamn show.
I think he was so cool, like that one part.
They were dragging him through on the back of a cart.
No, he needed to be in there. In which the one part where
okay, give me an idea of what was useful about that motherfucker.
He was a warg. You know what I mean? He can see the future.
What does that mean?
And then a warg means he can see through animals. So right now, Jambo's down here. I can sit there and close my eyes, roll my eyes up the back of my head, and then take control of him, see through him, and control him.
What good did it do during the show?
Well, at the end of it, he becomes the leader. He sits upon the throne.
That they gave to him.
Yeah,
because everybody was fucking dead.
Well, at first, like two seasons.
He didn't earn it.
No, but 2 seasons ago, 2 seasons before that, they were like, we should maybe do Bran to be the Witcher. He was like, I can never own anything. And then and then so I guess I'm proving your point more than
I'm kind of sitting over here. Yeah, I'm on Baseball side. Like, yeah, he sounds pretty fucking useless.
He has some really cool parts, like the one part where he's sitting there at Winterhelm and he's at the gate looking through, and Jaime's sitting there like, yeah, I remember when I came here and partied that one time and pushed that little shit off the fucking belt. And he sees him, and I think he came up to him and was like, I'm sorry. He was like, there's no reason to be. I don't feel anymore.
What good did that do?
Oh, well, look. Hey, I guess he didn't do nothing.
He didn't do shit. You're right.
I liked his story, though.
He sat by the tree and looked at things. And he looked at things he looked at the things in the past that didn't mean shit. And then he saw things from the future that he couldn't change. And then he saw shit about Holder, and he figured out what Holder was going to do.
Oh, that was so
And then they dragged his little ass in the cart while Holder held the door closed.
That was his destiny. That was his destiny.
I don't care. He didn't do crap at all.
Do you know the story?
And then they gave him and then they gave him the kingship, and then the story ends. The show ends. Crap.
See, this is why we don't talk about the last season.
Crap.
Yeah, the last season was wild. But Daenerys going crazy, which it matches the whole her family being crazy, and the what was his name, the fucking.
The witch was more magical than that, and I love that freaking witch.
Oh,
Every time
the
yeah,
fire-
she's like-
yeah.
She brings Jon Snow back to life. She's like, I don't know how that worked, or that shouldn't have worked.
That shouldn't have worked. Because I stabbed that fool at least 7 times. And then, okay, you should have known you were in some. I mean, look, these cats didn't even run for the hills when this dude was brought back to life. I would have got out of Dodge. I would have got out of freaking Dodge. They sat there.
Kill this guy. He's a Terminator.
Yeah,
Keep
they
coming.
just sat there and like, I'm sure we stabbed him like 7 times. What do we do now? You run, fool.
Yeah, what are you gonna do? Stab him again?
You run.
You would drop the black big smoke? How dare
I
you?
would have got the
You
hell out
made
of
an
there.
oath. You made an
They
oath.
hung that little boy too. They hung his ass and they hung him last. This is what happens when you betray me. Yak! Okay. Number 2. Yak! Number 3. Yak! Now you little freaking bastard. I'm gonna hang you too. You know,
I love the bow shot, and it shows him. He's like yeah.
Yeah.
No, you just killed my bitch.
Kill all of you fools. You had the nerve to stand there and wait for me to come kill you? So be it. Up the tree you go.
But so this is my point, though, right? Like, you see how
And no magic. There was no magic. Just a good strong rope.
But so this is my point, though.
Jesus.
When it comes to fantasy, fantasy is by its nature escapism. It's
Yeah.
how we get out of the trials and tribulations of our real world. Why would you want to escape into a world where it's even worse than, other than just to make yourself feel a little better? Like, at least my life's not this fucking bad.
Look, I love the whole. Once I got used to it, like, okay, anybody I said anybody is up for grabs on this show.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, so once I got over Ned Stark being slapped, I was like, okay, let's see how far this rabbit hole goes. Who else is on the chopping block? And pretty much everybody was on the chopping block. You thought somebody? I was like, okay. Yeah, he's gonna die.
Yeah, but there was no like going out like in a heroic blaze of glory type. Fucking what's his face gets shot on the toilet by his kid with the fucking crossbow.
Oh yeah, the head Lannister guy.
yeah.
Taran or
You're gonna have to miss me with all those freaking names.
Yeah.
So yeah, he shot him, and he shot him for saying the truth. She's just a fucking whore. Yeah, put a bolt through you while you're taking a dump.
Keep my mom's name out of your motherfucking mouth.
And the bad part about it, he just got through killing her.
Yeah, that was
He just got through killing her.
He walked in and found she was in the bed of his dad.
Yeah,
And was
calling his dad her pet name for him.
And she
Freaking scatterbrain, I'm gonna choke you out.
she like hung off the bed like this, and he grabbed a handkerchief or something. and
No,
grabbed
her
it,
necklace.
necklace, and pulled on it as she was and killed her, and then came in there with a
Using
crossbow
that-
and was like, "I thought she was a whore," and he was like, "You're not gonna do this over a whore."
Don't
and he was
call
like,
her
"Don't call her that again," and he was like, "Something whore." All right, you're gonna kill your father on the privy.
Like, dude, I love that little bastard.
Tywin Lannister.
That was
is
the
dad's
kid,
name.
yeah.
No, Tywin was the dad.
Tyrion's that. Tyrion was the guy.
Tyrion was Peter Dinklage, and Tyrion was his father.
Still, no magic, by the way. None of this
No,
shit.
the
Crossboats, hanging by a freaking rope, choking chicks out with a freaking
with her
necklace.
necklace. Now the book has a lot more magic, I think.
Yes.
Like they what's his name? The Islanders, where they raid all the time, and there's just they believe in the sun.
Iron.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying. I think.
I'm not gonna help you, motherfuckers. No.
Wasn't it like the Iron Isles or something?
Yeah,
like
the Iron Owls. So it's the uncle that comes back after he dies, and it's I can't remember the fucking name. He was with the Starks for a long time. He was one of the people that got sent over during that war so they could keep, we got your son here. You want to fuck around again? We'll just kill him. So the father dies from his uncle killing him. And in the book, in the series, the TV series, he's just, this cocky asshole, da-da-da. In the books, he's like this eldritch, holds this weird ass eldritch power, and he is something so much fucking more than meets the eye. But in the the shows, he's just some dickhead like, I shove my cock in anything I want. You know what I mean? But in the books, he is scary.
But yeah, so like I said, when it comes to realism versus optimism, in my fantasy, man, I want heroics. I want to feel like I'm part of something bigger, to remind me that I can be doing something more, or that there is more out there, things to be hopeful for, So like I've said when we were doing the Heroes episode, anybody can be a Frodo Baggins, man. Anybody from humble beginnings can rise up above their station and do something epic. Not everybody can be a Samwise Gamgee.
Nope.
No.
But anybody can be a Frodo. It's just people don't want to be Frodo these days. Nobody wants to. Everybody wants somebody else to be Frodo. They're ready to cheer him on. Fucking nobody wants to spark the revolution. Nobody wants to lead the rebellion. Nobody wants it.
Hey, at the end of Return of the King, when they were coming back to all this disaster and chaos, it wasn't even Frodo who called to arms. It was Merry and Pippin.
Mm-hmm.
Merry and Pippin said,
those guys were down in the trenches.
Yeah,
those guys got front hand fucking warfare experience.
Yeah, Merry and Pippin said, "Oh no, sir, we're gonna handle some business." Yeah, Mary's like, "I got an uncle downtown. We're gonna go get." He got on his horse and he trotted off. And then Mary's like, "I'm gonna get me some fire pistols over here, and we're gonna handle an ambush." They loaded up some carts along the high ground, got some archers on the edge, and then when the bad guys came rolling up the main road like idiots, they parked some carts behind them. Now you can imagine a bunch of 12-year-old looking cats pushing some carts in behind you, and you still don't think you're in trouble? Until the arrows start flying, and oh crap, they're shooting.
Show you how the boys from Rohan do things.
And they started killing cats. Mary is sticking that little bitty, paper cutter knife of his in people. He's cutting people down.
Mm-hmm.
See, that kind of stuff. You're like, okay, that's...
I haven't got that far into the books, but I've heard plenty of references on it and how...
These dudes are... It only took them a year and a half, and they became straight up killers by the time they got back to the shop.
I mean, they were fighting front lines.
In the books
with the Rohans. They were dealing with the orcs. They were dealing with
goblins
and shit.
Now in the movies, one goes to the Rohirrim and one goes to Gondor. Is that the same thing in the books, or is it they?
Yeah, they keep close to that. Yeah.
Okay, I just didn't know for sure if that was the same thing. So yeah, like you said.
So imagine a frontline fighter and a guerrilla tactician.
Yeah, you both
teaming up.
And
it's already Merry and Pippin who work so well together. Yeah,
and they got separated. Merry is riding with the princess, and they're going off. He's so light. He's so small. He can ride with her on the horse. Mm-hmm. No one notices that this guy, because he was forbidden to go, by the way. Mm-hmm. He was forbidden to go.
So was she, yeah.
She was too. So you don't notice these two smallest people riding on this horse? Right. There's thousands of them. Yeah. I get it. But that would bring like, hey, who the hell are these two? And they
you're riding,
yeah.
Damn, this dude's kind of curvy next to me.
Fucking Mulan. Damn, that soldier guy.
Oh, what was that? I seen a robot chicken
skit. Does this dress make me look fat? Come on, dude.
I seen a robot skit, and he goes into the tent. And he's like, "Oh, Mulan, I'm coming in." He's like, "Oh no, fuck! What the fuck?" And he's like,
"Where's your penis?
Don't tell anybody." He's like, "I thought you had a penis." And he's like, "Just don't tell anybody." He's like, "No, I ain't gonna tell anybody that I almost slept with a woman. I'm gonna tell." It's fine. We'll handle this. I think he throws a torch in there. He just throws a torch in there.
That's just funny, man. Don't swim, man. They mess shit up.
Oh, they do.
But look, those two are that's heroism. When you got a guy that's 6 foot something, 200 pounds, is fighting a dude who's maybe 3 foot something, and he's not even 90 pounds.
He is whooping your ass.
And he's killing people.
It's demoralizing.
These cats, they got guns. I mean, Sam attacked a stronghold. Now, they were busy killing each other off at the time, but he attacked a stronghold by himself with all the crap on his back.
Mm-hmm. So carrying all the pots and pans
and
all the food.
And he's still taking out cats.
Well, that's like the Witch King. You know, it gets done in, and they you know, I don't know how it goes in the books, but, you know, fucking Pippin. No. Mary comes back behind him, gets him in the fucking back with it, or in the back of the head with it, and it brings him down enough to where, and he's like, you know, you can't kill me, you're not a man, and she's like, I'm not a man, bah, and fucking gets her with her sword.
No, it was,
but
it
technically,
wasn't like that in the book. It was
oh no, see that's how it is in the movie.
Not so quite straightforward.
Yeah,
but it's similar. I mean, they take they take the major parts. They take the major parts. She does kill him.
Yeah. She just doesn't go all girl boss about it.
Yeah, she doesn't like take her.
Oh, she doesn't take her helmet off and be like, I am no man.
No, she does say that. She says she's not a man. But
that's why she was able to kill him.
There's
no man can kill me, which is the truth. No man can touch him.
No man shall.
But he's not a man, and neither is Mary. Yeah. Mary's not a man either. He's a halfling.
It reminds me of there was like some various references to, you know, whenever you're dealing with these ancient entities and whatnot, and it was very heavily referenced in Supernatural and Buffy the Vampire Slayer. It's like, you know, no weapon forged by man can kill me, and she pulls out a fucking bazooka.
Blows him to smithereens.
Like, thankfully, this was machined, not forged.
Yeah, that was a good episode because he really was a powerful demon. And it did take, well, I think he said it was thousands of men or 1,000 men to take him apart. That's heroism.
And obviously, Game of Thrones isn't about heroism. It's
no,
not, but
it's more like about revenge
and survival.
Yeah, you know, it's about revenge and what you have to do to survive.
Yeah, so
because some of those interactions are not pleasant.
No, so why would you think that? Or so. From your perspective, why do you think that Game of Thrones is better than Lord of the Rings?
I don't think it's better. I think it's, if we're going to talk about aspects of magic and magical beings and instances, Game of Thrones is just the evil that manifests as mankind with a little bit of dragons and magic in it. Yeah. I really love the scenes where that, I guess the Red Witch or Black Witch or whatever you want to call her shows up, and all her scenes are all these incredibly magical and evil crap that she does, or good that she does, depending on your perspective of Jon Snow.
Yeah.
Okay. She kept him in the game when basically he was out of the game, and then Daenerys. Okay, she's got blood in her. Her bloodline is so other-ordinary, where fire doesn't affect her. And she has some kind of weird relationship with dragons. Okay? And then it's like, okay, does she really have control of the dragon? Or the dragons are just...
well-tamed.
Yeah, dealing with her, you know? Because the biggest one, the black one, sometimes it felt like he didn't give a shit if she was there or not. He was going to do his own thing. The other two, they minded her, but not the black one. And then, of course, the first one, he gets killed pretty much like a punk. One javelin through the body, he's gone.
Still very young dragon. So
I don't care.
I know you don't care.
I don't care. But what I'm saying is.
But so not that Lord of the Rings isn't better than Game of Thrones. You said that you liked the gritty realism of Game of Thrones over the over-optimistic, hopeful.
Okay, now we're going to change that script. Sure. Game of Thrones it's more in your face. Don't get attached to this fool because he might not make it to the next episode.
Right.
Okay, I like that aspect of it because for the most part...
kept you on your toes.
Yeah, nobody was untouchable. I mean, terrible things happened to 90% of them.
Yeah.
Okay? And of that 90%, a good many of them just got straight killed. Like, between...
what happened to the Hound?
He dies at the end. He dies kind of like a champ.
Oh, he was fighting his brother, if I remember correctly. Yeah, like the building falls on him.
Yeah, he dies kind of like a champ. I mean... Okay,
he got some closure at least.
Yeah, but
And then Arya survives.
Arya survives.
And ends up sailing the seas.
Yeah, Sansa, she survives. Which really, she should have been queen if you were going to put, Brom should be out of the freaking picture. The boy should be dead. He should be worm food. They should have put him out to sea, give him a Viking funeral and all that good crap. Get rid of that fool. He shouldn't have been there.
No, what you do is you install him as the spy master and have him, keeping an eye throughout the kingdoms through his animals.
Could have done that through the entire show, and they didn't do it.
Yeah.
Right.
They could talking to your damn tree. I give two craps about Bronn. But look, see, Arya survives, Sansa survives, Jon survives. Why?
Did he survive?
Jon Snow survives.
Okay, so why doesn't he get put on the throne?
He went north. He gathered up his men after the fucking Daenerys' men started murdering people, and she went crazy. He's like, let's get the fuck out of here. And
I think he's supposed to marry Daenerys?
Yeah, he banged her a few times, but then she dies.
Okay.
He kills her.
Okay.
Look, because she was going bat snakingly crazy.
Yeah.
She was going crazy because she really didn't need to burn that other city to the ground. She wanted to burn that city to the ground, and she burned that city to the ground. And then he's like trying to talk to her like you try to talk to your girlfriend who's gone crazy and is all emotional. And he's like, "Yeah, she's gonna burn the whole world down if I let her." And he's like, "Yeah, baby, I love you." Yak! He stabs her in the free. And then the dragon was like, "You killed my bitch!" And then he burns the freaking throne down. And then he grabs her dead body and runs off with it to do what? I don't know.
Yeah, that's still not described. Yeah,
Well, the witch dies.
The Red Witch, the lady.
Yeah, she does. I forget what she does. She does something, and then
she walks off into the distance and basically disintegrates. She dies.
Yeah, in the movie, she turns into this like little old woman where she was this beautiful, full-breasted woman.
Like I said, she was an old.
Yeah, they established that early on.
Yeah,
that she was like this
very old
type.
Yeah, she.
I didn't know that until she did it, and I was like,
yeah, they show her. They show what she really looks like. All that shit was an illusion.
Yeah,
it's like oh.
Yeah, like shortly after introducing the character, she's like looking at herself in the mirror and like basically reapplying the glamours and such. And
really? Is that in there?
Yeah,
oh, shit.
Yeah. See,
it's the little things that you don't.
I said. See, there was so little of it that if you blinked or went to the bathroom and came back, you'd miss something essential. That's how little magic was in this thing.
Yeah.
What about that? The assassin guild or whatever that Arya was part of. Do you guys think that was a little bit of magic in there with all the faces and shit?
Well, there's something weird going on. Somebody's drinking something. But look, when she decided to leave Homeboy, like, look, I'm gonna leave. Look, I know I'm supposed to be here and train for more. Yeah, I'm leaving. I'm taking my little pointy knife and my pointy sword, and I'm getting the fuck out. And he's like, "Yeah, I think you should go." He wasn't gonna try to stop her after she didn't kill the other one.
Right.
She got the hell out of there. And there was that one where she used it to great effect. She killed all those fools who killed her brother. She killed all them fools.
Yeah.
And
she took out the king of the White Walkers or whatever.
That was kind of
that was slipperoony.
Yeah, that was fugazi.
Really?
Yeah, I thought it was pretty
honestly, cool. I would have respected it more if she had walked up on that king dressed up as one of his lieutenants.
Okay, yeah.
If she had his face and walked up, it was like, and then slid one between the freaking second and third rib, I would have been, yeah.
All right, yeah, because why would you spend like multiple seasons establishing this character as this expert assassin and everything,
just to get choked out in the end, and do some funky handplay? Man, miss me with that. I'm an assassin. I'm wearing your face, and I'm killing you.
Was it at the very least some kind of homage to the training that she got with the Hound? Did she like beat the fuck out of him brawler style?
No, because she was supposed to kill him.
Mm-hmm.
There's a few people on her little list that I loved, by the way. I love that list. She had a list of the people she was going to kill. Now, she killed a few of them, but she didn't get all of them. I mean, well, she went traveling off to wherever. Yeah, she went traveling off to places unknown. Yep. She wasn't going to stick around and be a part of this like weird corrupt council that they got.
But in other parts of that
Brand is king
world, or whatever you call it, there is a lot more magic. Like a Sai or whatever it's called, a Shai. They said there's like that dude you see that has like the blue tongue and he's like totally white. Oh man,
the king of the White Walkers.
No. Oh, where was he? Where was they at? I think it was in where she was with the faceless men or whatever. And there was like this dude that's like bald, pale, with a blue tongue, and it explains that they take this like little tonic or whatever that makes their tongues blue.
She assassinated him?
I don't know if he assassinated him. Was it her that it was? I know that's in there for sure. I just can't remember what part in there.
I'd have to waste time watching it again. I'm not gonna do that.
I might. I haven't seen it in a while.
Yeah, I will.
I still got HBO ever since we watched Dune. So,
dude, I swear to God, I cannot do it. I cannot do it. It's just beyond me to sit through I'll put it this way: if it's so good up until a certain point, and I know that the last one or two seasons are absolutely craptacular, then I don't want to watch it up until because like I said, to just satisfy my obsession with completing watching a series, I watched the last episode just to get it out of my system.
Yeah,
just to get it out. Because I'd hate to go, wow, dude, what the fuck happened at this show?
Just watch a recap on YouTube.
Well, I did that too after, But I swear to God, dude, that show was such a major disappointment. A major disappointment.
All right, well, let's put it to rest then. If you had to pick one of the universes to live in.
Oh, fuck. That's easy.
Really? Which one?
Lord of the Rings. I ain't get my face pummeled in by a fucking mace because I joined the wrong faction or because I bedded the wrong woman.
Okay. So,
definitely Lord of the Rings.
Okay, so what would you be? Would you be an elf, a dwarf, or a halfling, or human?
That is a good one. I'd probably be a dwarf.
You'd be a dwarf?
Oh, maybe not, though. Because
as much as I love go ahead. I
love the long lifespan of elves. I want to live forever. So being an elf, but like the aesthetics of them, But I mean, if you're born, you don't get chosen. Like, hey, I like that lifestyle. I really don't want to be that beggar on the street. So dwarves probably. Dwarves. Final answer. Dwarves. Yeah.
What about you, Chief?
Oof.
Oh, elves.
That's me too quick.
It's elves. Don't play around.
Well, so I've always been torn between the two. Honestly, I have, yeah, because like you do a lot of those like those online quizzes, like which fantasy race would you be? And you fill out the questionnaire. Like 90% of the time, I end up on the elf side, but it's like I love the great works and that the minds the dwarves are able to do, and like while I don't do well with the like the grudge holding that they do, that they're well renowned for. But the meticulousness of their craft, the way that they go about things, you throw me in any video game that I have the ability to mine, and I will just dig tunnels.
Which is kind of their fault.
For hours and hours
anyway,
and
that
hours.
They have a grudge against them anyway.
Right.
It's their fault.
Yeah, but so... But yeah, like I said, even 7 Days to Die is a zombie survival game. And the most recent gameplay that I did, I've got a 1.5 mile long tunnel that I dug out
by yourself,
by myself, just strip mined out because I need something to do during the night when the zombies are
dude. I tell you,
so I'm just digging through a tunnel. It's the autism at work, man. It really is. It's what lets me do this kind of work. It's what lets me
and that's what makes you great.
In on
yeah,
things,
look, okay, it's a
superpower.
It's a superpower. It's a gift. But see,
but so dwarves.
Yeah, look. I'm a dwarf, ride or die. I'm a dwarf. Okay. Because I'm very quick to anger, but I'm quick to have fun. You get me mad. The hammer comes out, and I'm bashing you over the skull, pushing your body over, and then I'm drinking a beer. I'm a dwarf, okay? But the downside of being a dwarf is they go extinct.
I mean, depending on which university you're looking at.
Okay, yeah, they go.
Yeah, I mean, Lord of the Rings very specifically, like I said, it's supposed to be the secret history of Britain. So by J.R.'s standards, all those fantasy races disappear.
They disappear. They go into they just go into the mountain and they just keep digging and they keep digging and they never come out. They're basically Japan or Korea. They just go. They go extinct. And okay.
Japan went extinct?
No, they went very isolationist for.
They're isolationists, and they're not having kids.
Oh yeah, so they may go extinct.
They may go extinct. Same thing with Korea. Okay, quick biological lesson on societies. You need 2.1 children per woman to maintain a society balance, because you need more kids than there are actually people going to die out. We, right now, America is at 1.6. No empire in creation has ever survived with numbers lower than 1.9. Okay? I think Korea and Japan, they're like 1.2 and 1 respectively. They're not having kids. They're having more people over the age of 45 than under it.
Wow. That's
it. Okay. I think China's running into the same problem because they decided, we're going to have one child policy and they're all going to be boys. Okay. Now there's some people who look, we're going to have some kids. That's just the way it is. But they had to hide the fact that they had more than one kid. Mm-hmm. Okay. And nobody honored or cherished the female of the species. Here's Nemesis, are you waiting? You throw a little bit of feminism in there, and people are not having kids because they rather punch a clock and listen to their work husband rather than be at home and listening to their real husband and having children and nurturing and rearing kids in the home. So now you have places like India who will hump you no matter if you move in the wrong direction, and they got way more kids. You got all the Muslim and Northern African communities where they do their thing and they're having tons of kids. So they're out breeding everywhere else. And then you add the whole, let's import all these said people into our country. And now they're banging your women and they're having more kids. And now you got people who are more people call it Muhammad than Chester.
That's why I said
I get the point you made at the beginning of our episode where you was talking about soon enough, you know what I mean? Might be just them, you know what I mean? Or whatever. I get what you're saying now. Okay.
Well, I always love the idea, like in Mass Effect, they kind of mentioned it too. It's 1,000 years from now, there won't be any white people, black people, Hispanic people. It's just all going to be a mixing pot.
There's going to be a blender.
Everybody's going to be a Heinz 57 or something. Yeah.
But here's the thing. When they say that, they're saying that white people aren't having a lot of kids. Yeah. They're not having a lot of kids. You're letting all these Pookie and Ray Rays out here dicking down everybody.
Why does that make me feel so uncomfortable every time you say that?
Because these Long Johnson, homosexuals out there. They're laying the pipe down on all these women. They're not taking care of these kids. But they're really good at the hip flexor.
Us humble white people can't keep up.
It's just people are getting complacent. They're getting complacent. We got a lot of blended kids out here. No, I didn't. What is it? We looked this up. There's only 8% or something like that of black people in this general area, right? But it's you see a lot of, and I gotta say, I'm happy to see it. A lot of black and white couples are out here. I mean, and then you see 2, 3, 4 of these blended kids. Okay,
14 to 16.
Yeah, okay, it was somewhere around there, right? That's a lot of Pookie and Ray Rays out there. I mean, look, we got some.
Well, not to get this into a racial argument.
What I'm saying is,
no, I know.
Extinction events here. Okay,
well, regardless of the race mixing, we're talking about having.
But see,
so Big Smoke said, have kids Do your part.
No, okay, but see, talking to people under 30, especially people under 30, between 20 and 25, they're not talking about having no kids. You got women at 25 who'd rather be a manager at Burger King than be a wife and have children.
Well, it's also a sign of the times and sign of the environment we live in, right? You know, it's you have people that don't feel safe having kids, don't feel comfortable bringing kids into into the world we live in nowadays, right? But to counter that point, right? Because while I hear that point a lot, I don't agree with it. I agree with the idea that the best time to raise dragon slayers is in a time of dragons. So, have kids, raise them to be the future Samwise Gamgees.
Do what you gotta do. But one of the few things I don't know how we got caught. I got caught up. I'm sorry. I got caught up. But since we're already here, I remember hearing a guy talk about. Well, I remember hearing the woman. She was a social economic, majors. She an economist, and she was talking about why a lot of families are not happening nowadays because women are predominantly making more money, 2 to 3 times more than their male counterparts.
Okay.
And how she put it was, we're too boss baby. We're too much in charge. We make too much money to get some ninja out there who doesn't make as much as I do. We don't want to date down. We want someone on our level or higher. I hear that a lot too. In real time, I hear women say that.
But even though 90% of men in the workforce are doing things like gas and oil field, coal mining.
There are a lot of men making good money. It's just that it's not the kind of guy that they want.
Yeah, because to women, fucking get me on this topic, but to women, equality meant they wanted the CEO positions, they wanted the boss positions and everything. They didn't want to go through all the middle steps that all that, like I said, 90% of men have to go through, or are a part of. They don't, you don't see a 50-50 split in coal mines. You don't see a 50-50 split in, railroad workers.
No,
but they want it in the boardrooms and they want it in the power player positions.
That's where he's like, all of them are in HR. but see here, but look, okay, so like I said before, I think we talked about this a little bit about this earlier. Beyonce, billionaire, right? If she wasn't a billionaire and she was just some clerk at Walmart, Jay-Z could walk in there and go, "Oh shit, that chick is fine as hell. Let me just kick it on to her. Hey, baby, I'm the best rapper alive. Let's go. Let's eat it." She'd be like, "Oh shit, that's Jay-Z," and he could scoop her up. Switch that. Mm-hmm. Jay-Z's the clerk at Walmart. Beyonce comes, bubbly, jiggling in there, and she sees this and she goes, "Oh hell no! This ninja's broke. I'm not gonna give him the time of day." Where's Kanye? That's like exactly what she's gonna do. She'd leave that fool in the. There's no way that man.
So the quote line I saw from another podcast that you were watching.
Yeah, could not pull.
Women don't want to date down, but what have men been doing this entire time?
Men have been dating down for centuries. Centuries, from the goat herder's daughter to a clerk or a cashier at McDonald's. Oh man, she fine as hell. Hey, get up from behind that counter and I'll take you out. we won't even eat at McDonald's. We'll eat at Burger King. How's that, baby? How's that? We can eat at Burger King. I know you can't. I know you don't got to swing it. I'll swing it. Because I'm Kanye West. Come on.
And I gotta wonder from a little bit of a place of just having never considered it before. But say you are a female, millionaire, billionaire, whatever the case may be. Like, who are you gonna date up at that point? I mean, every guy that's making $1 billion a year,
they already got wives and kids and all that stuff.
Some of them more than one.
Yeah.
So I mean, you kind of played yourself there. You set yourself up for failure.
Exactly. And here's the bad part: we got a president who traded one wife for another wife, and the next wife was the mistress of the previous wife. I mean. But that's not, like I said, when you got that kind of cash, why do I need someone who's my age? He ain't chasing nothing his age.
Right.
none of them are chasing women their age. Kanye is vastly more older. He's got age on Beyonce.
What you got to really consider when it comes to coupling and pairing is, what do both parties bring to the table? If a woman's coming and bringing money to the table, a guy can get money.
Guys don't really care about that from a woman. Only in the aspect, look, if he's a homosexual and she got the cash and she's willing to shell out some coin for that loving, yeah, he'll do that. That's compensation, though. That's not... he ain't trying to get nobody pregnant at that point because then he's stuck. Mm-hmm. So he's not trying to do that. That's not what you're offering him.
Yeah, there are no trophy husbands.
No. Well, there's Stefan from Oprah. Did they have kids? I'm pretty sure they did not. I've never seen any kids in any kind of picture with Oprah. I think she is definitely one of those, I'm going to be 60 years old and then I'll have my last minute, memoir saying how much I regret not having kids.
Yeah, I don't see any mention of kids.
Yeah, I didn't think so.
She's 71 years old.
Yeah. Dang. It's a lot of Ozempic.
What I think is a major issue that we're dealing with in today's day and age is that there is a breakdown of gender-defining roles. I mean, people don't even want to define gender anymore. That's a major issue. How are you supposed to have...
We saw that crap in our very store.
Mm-hmm. How are we supposed to have a continuation of society when society itself is rotting from the inside and the foundation's collapsing? So as an optimist... how do we build up from here? And I think we are kind of seeing a course correction in the younger generations.
No, we're not.
I think we are.
No, we're not.
Listen, for you, the younger generations are like millennials and Gen Zs. I'm talking about like the Gen Alphas and a lot of the people that are on like the short form platforms and stuff that are coming out and saying like we want traditional wives, we want traditional families, a return to the family unit, a return to less government and more people. And
look, okay, we see a lot of kids in our line of work. A lot of kids. I don't see a lot of 18-year-old or 20-year-old virgins out there.
True.
I don't see any.
I mean, there is still that residue from the generation before.
They are throwing it down as much as they can before they're even 18.
Seen a lot less of them being single parents, though.
Yeah, because a lot of them are seeing the struggle of single parenthood. Mm-hmm. They're seeing it,
they are the result of it,
right? And they don't want it. Hence the not having kids, but they still want to throw it down casually, and I can't say that's a problem.
That's what you've been doing.
Yeah, because I'm so I can't really be. But I'm already an old man, and I already had my kids. Okay, so if you were going to not do that, you need to knuckle down and just pair up and have children and stay together. I mean, and save yourself all of this trauma. Mm-hmm.
I'm just picturing that bit from Starship Troopers. I'm doing my part. Are you? All right, folks, on that note, I think we're about ready to wrap it up here for tonight. It's been a hell of a shift, and thank you for sticking around this long. If you made it this far into the video, like, comment, and subscribe. Hit us up on the donation page if you liked our content and want to help support us. That's coffee, ko-fi/Nightwatch Podcast. Check out the Facebook page, Nightwatch Podcast, and thank you for joining us.
Aloha.
Have a good night.
Alright, time to empty out the mop bucket, run the trash, and hit the lights. Go get off my time clock, and be safe getting home.